Welcome everyone to the fifth 100 days of no code demo day. We're clearly like racking these things up now. This time a year ago, we'd only just done our first one. So it's pretty cool to have our fifth one in play right now, which is kind of crazy. For what was just a hashtag is now sort of a community. So really good to kind of see everyone here today. But before we go any further, as I always do on these sessions, I know most of us know what no code is, but I also want to just clarify what it is, clear it up for those that don't know, and to kind of place 100 days of no code in this weird space and just kind of show you or tell you how it actually fits into everything. So no code is a way of creating software without writing any code. It's a set of tools that make building websites, apps, and software easier than it ever has been before. So anyone can now bring their ideas to life with the power of no code. It's essentially democratized software creation, which is super, super exciting. And I hope you agree. So just as phones gave rise to citizen journalists, we're now seeing the dawn of citizen developers, which basically means anyone can now create websites, apps, and software, regardless of whether you're technical or non-technical. So the age of no code is firmly upon us now, which is kind of changing up the game. So yeah, this is a cool time to be an entrepreneur, creator, and lots of other things. So at 100 days of no code, we're on a mission to help unleash this first batch of citizen developers and entrepreneurs leveraging this new technology. So being part of this, we can fundamentally change who builds the tech that shapes our everyday lives, which will open up a world with more diverse set of problem solvers, more inclusive digital spaces, and of course, more accessible careers into tech. So now the part we play as 100 days of no code is essentially providing the most accessible and supportive community to learn and build with no code. We do this by being intentionally affordable, inclusive to anyone with a passion for learning and making change. And of course, we're beginner friendly. We assume no prior knowledge. But you're probably wondering, so how do we actually transform complete non-techies into entrepreneurs that can actually take their ideas that they've scribbled down on their notebook for far too long and then bring them to life? Well, we first give people a simple but powerful formula to live by. That being 30 minutes of no code learning a day, you guessed it, for 100 days, every day compounding on top of the next. Secondly, we connect learners on the same journey together, providing accountability and inspiration. And lastly, we provide educational resources that optimize for creation over consumption. So today, though, I'm really excited to share that we're adding a new string to our bow, Cohorts. Starting on the 18th of October, we're running our first cohort. So by the end of this 6-week program, you'll have learned the fundamentals of no code, built your MVP, and met a whole host of very cool, like-minded peers. So let me just share some links in the chat if that is at all interesting to you. So firstly, I need to find the chat and where that is. Okay, cool. Let's pop it in the chat now, and you should see some interesting links with lots of UTMs to track where people are coming from. But we all know where you're coming from. You're coming from this live stream, so I'm not sure how useful that is. But anyway, it's time to get stuck into the demos. That's why we're all here tonight, and it's basically to celebrate all the amazing projects our community has created, and hopefully show you what's possible with no code, what you can do without writing a single line of code. So what is the format for tonight's event? Well, we're going to be diving straight into the demos. And after each demo has finished, make sure to add feedback or thoughts or ideas you have onto the collaborative Jamboard that I will be sharing in the chat right now. Let me just find that. Let's do this reasonably smoothly. 2 secs. Okay, so there is the collaborative Jamboard. Everyone should be able to see that. Open it up in a new tab so you're ready to start adding feedback to the projects that will be on show tonight. Okay, and now quickly some Zoom etiquette. So if you could all keep yourselves on mute, that would be marvelous. So we can hear the speakers loud and clear, and it would be great to see your faces. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's absolutely fine as well. Okay. Oh, so that was the Jamboard that I just skipped past. And now we're on to the last slide before we get things going. Okay, so we want to give each project on show tonight as much exposure as possible. So I'm hoping we can use the collective network of everyone here today to create some noise for each project using, you guessed it, the 100 Days of No Code hashtag and our Twitter handle 100 Days No Code. Now I'm going to share those in the chat to make it easier for you guys to do exactly that. All right. Okay, so they're there. Right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can kick off the demos. And
cool. Just checking you guys can see my screen.
Perfectly. Awesome.
Okay, amazing. Cool, guys. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. in Sydney. I'm hyped up on a little bit of coffee, so let's get to it. I'm going to talk you through launching a no-code, leveraging no-code to launch a liquor company of all things. So let's get into it. So my name's Kev Jockelson. I'm on a bootstrap sabbatical, and I'm launching a business every 2 months at kevjock.com. My background is started in banking, and oh, sorry, I'm getting like a hot flush from I think so early in the morning. Okay, so yeah, give me a sec.
It's all good, Kev. All good. Take your time.
Yeah, give me a quick water break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just yeah, take your time. It's all good. Yeah.
All right. I'm on a bootstrap sabbatical. I'm launching a business every 2 months. So far with the 100 Days of No Code, I've launched the Tech Report, Kid Cusso, and the Noble Sage Liquor Company. And the agenda today, I'm going to talk through how we launched the company. So I'm just keeping track of time because my thing's not showing that. Cool. So what I did is I created a hype page, and then I created a exclusive sign up, and then I did the launch. I'm going to go through those 3 things. So first thing, a little background on the Noble Sage Liquor Company. I started this company with my best friend, and we started doing, we started barrel aging cocktails during COVID last year, and they were so damn good that we decided we had to sell them. So basically, it's a Negroni. We barrel age it, and we decided we had to sell these. And it's based around Sage, and the Sage is like a mystical character. He lives in the woods. He's been doing alchemy for like 1,000 years, and he's given us access to his alchemy, and so we have to sell it. So that's kind of the premise of the company. So the first thing to do was to build a hype page. So what I did is I used Card because it is incredibly simple to use Card. And thanks to 100 Days of No Code, I was taught to kind of use that. As part of the landing page, we have a timer, and that timer creates immediacy for customers. So they know that this is urgent, it's going to launch soon. And the next thing it does as well is it created a deadline and accountability for me that I had to launch this business. The other thing we had, obviously, it's a landing page. So we had an email that captured customers who signed up who were interested in the product. And when I launched this, I launched it with 1 week on the clock. So that really meant that I had to, it was go time in 7 days. Cool. So just talking you through the landing page, built on Card. It's got a nice little fire background, a little blurb, and there's that kind of 6 days, 23 hours left before we're going to launch the company. Nice little bit of copy, and then you can sign up with your name, your email, and because it's a liquor company, you have to be kind of over 18. So that's how that worked. Cool. So what happened is, I come from a startup background, and I kind of thought to myself, I should have a wait list. Like this, I should have like some kind of crazy wait list. And I didn't really trust myself because this is a D2C company. It's an alcohol company. Who has a wait list for like an alcohol company? It seems crazy. But one night I kind of trusted my gut, and I stayed up and I put in this wait list tool. And the next morning, every 2 people invite another person. So I kind of created this virality, which is really awesome. The other thing I use is when you build on Shopify, basically they put up a password protection because you're not ready to launch. But I decided I'd actually use that password protection and launch with the password page up, which is kind of crazy. People usually go, I've got a password up, it's not ready to go, but I actually use that for exclusivity. And all the people who signed up on the waiting list, I decided that, they signed up, they fought to have the top spot, we should use that. And the other thing I did is I optimized for non-friends and family because we wanted to validate this is a real product. We knew friends and family would buy from us, but if someone who we had no idea who signed up buys from us, we know that it's kind of legitimate, we've got a product. So every 15 minutes, we basically dripped out an email to the people who'd signed up. So I just thought I'd show you, this is kind of what the email looked like. It has like a little poem, it has this launch gift that we used. And at the bottom there, you can see it's got this unique password for people to jump in and sign in. So people started coming in, they started signing up, they started logging in, and we started getting our first sales, which is really awesome. And then later on in the day, we actually did our real launch, which was the public launch. So we had this gift that we sent out to people that was visual and mysterious. We announced it across socials, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And the people who'd already bought would basically jump in saying, I've already bought this, super excited. I can't believe I got my hands on a first bottle. And we had select friends basically thunderclap this as well, sharing it out. So we sent them a message to send out. So just quickly jumping in what the actual website looks like. I've got this noble sage that we had a New York illustrator kind of create for us with, I think, a photo tool. I added some animations. There's a little blurb about the noble sage, a quote about how good the sage is. There's a hero image of our cocktail. And then we have kind of value propositions. And I've used the illustration to kind of pull things out there. This is our actual Noble Negroni. We've now got customers who have given us some quotes on what they think about it. So I've added that little sign up tool, and you can actually jump in and discover our drink, the Noble Negroni. So a little bit more about it there. I've got a little chatbot with Tidio, which is free. And then we've kind of got these images that you can actually check the product out. And now that we've got customers giving us 5-star reviews, which is awesome, I've added a tool for that. And yeah, that's the Shopify store. So I didn't have time to go into everything, but I kind of detailed my whole launch on this little tweet, which talks about the virality tool. It also shows, to give it away. It was really, in my mind, I was very happy with it. We made about $1,500 in a day, and we sold out the whole batch in a week. So we've kind of validated the product. Yeah, that's it. So you can check it out there by scanning it and kind of reading through it. Otherwise, I'm Kev. I'm at Kev Jockelson on Twitter. I also have a newsletter, and you can check out a little bit what I'm doing on my Bootstrap sabbatical. But so G to be here. Thanks for having me, and thanks for listening.
Thanks so much, Kev. Everyone is asking whether telling of the fact that people and your drink has gone down very well. People are asking whether there is international shipping. I know you're only Aussie based at the moment, so I think that's good enough validation for you to open up and go into to beyond the Aussie land. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No international shipping yet, not just yet, but I'll let you guys know when it's up.
Yeah, do. Awesome. Well, people, please, can I just take this, a minute or so to check out Kev's Jamboard section, just add some feedback, some thoughts, some love that you have on his project, because it's pretty cool. When I was, because I'm in Kev's mastermind group in 100 Days of No Code, and when he pitched up and was like, "Oh, I'm just going to be creating a liquor company," we were all just kind of sitting there like, "What the heck?" And it's really cool to kind of see it come to life, and what a cool thing to say, regardless of whether you like. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I might take
Um,
myself off.
yeah, regardless of like whether any money's been made from this product. Like, I think it's a pretty cool story to tell that you've actually built a liquor company. So, and not many people will be able to say that. That's awesome. That looks really cool. um, yeah, thanks so much, Kev. I think it's time to pass the baton on to Jack Redley. So yeah, over to you, Jack. If you're ready to go.
Yeah, sure. I'll just get up. So I'll just share the screen. Hey everyone, I'm Jack. That's not me. But God, Kev, that's a tough act to follow, man. Okay, cool. I do not have slides nearly as sexy as Kev. I'm just gonna put that out there now. But I'm Jack, and I'm a brand and web designer based in Newcastle. Fun fact about me is I actually did the 100 Days of No Code logo that you guys have got on your screens that I couldn't manage to get behind me in time. So, but yeah, that's me. And basically, I went into design because I really like making stuff, and I thought, yay, I can get paid to make stuff. Awesome. But I kind of found it was a little bit, I mean, I'm still a designer, so I still find it a little bit like exhausting, just how, everyone is trying to get a harder, better, faster, stronger, website or branding, and it is quite money orientated naturally. And I wanted to focus more on in environmentally conscious brands, and I started working for a sustainable clothing company, and very quickly realized that that phrase shouldn't really be a phrase, and I just got a bit disheartened. So I have basically set up this thing called Encounter, and the idea is it's not like I've got a client like telling me what to do and telling me which websites to make. What I want to try and do is make websites that make people think about environmental and social issues. So this isn't trying to preach to people who are, cleaning out their Marmite pots before they recycle them per se. It's more like I want to try and create websites that are shared by people who aren't necessarily aware of the things that I'm trying to tackle. And it's kind of working haphazardly at the moment. Every 2 weeks, I want to put out a website to make people who just don't really care, and hopefully to share them. So I'll show you the first website that I did, and I actually put this up a while ago on 100 Days of No Code. Maybe some people saw it, but the idea is to have a website that's a little bit weird, different, and makes you want to scroll and stay on it. So I want to have loads of little features and things that make people go, like, what is this? I want to know more about it. So this first one is about veganism, obviously, and yeah, I did quite a lot of research into like humans basically not always eating meat, and how the term veganism actually started in the 1960s. And sorry if anyone's like, oh fuck, I hate vegans on this call, but yeah, that's cool if you do as well. Like, I'm not telling you how to be. I think that's one of the important things to say about this whole project as well. I'm just trying to like understand things and present them to people who may not have actually like understood things fully or want to know more about them. I'm not trying to say, hey, don't eat meat. It's just like, what is veganism? What the fuck is it about? I'm not sure why this isn't working. Maybe it's because I'm sharing this. But anyway, this is the first website. And at the bottom here, what I want to try and do is make sure...
We can't actually see your screen. We can see your what's his name? Not David Attenborough, the comedian.
what?
Partridge.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Guys,
Yeah.
I've burnt my 5 minutes trying to... You guys are just like...
Don't know why we launched in with Attenborough. I'm going to get roasted for that, but anyway.
That's fine.
Hey.
Okay, well, you've kind of heard everything that I've said then, but yeah, this is essentially the first website. I can put it in the chat so you guys can have a look on your own. But yeah, the idea is that people will hopefully share this and get conversations going about topics that maybe aren't as well known. So if I change to Figma, can you see Figma now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Cool. Okay, so this is the actual website that I haven't built, need to build. And it's going to have like past drops. So it's going to be a little bit like Bad Unicorn. I watched their 100 Days of No Code video. And they basically just have like a sign up box. People sign up. And then every 2 weeks is the plan. You'll get a new website to inspire change into your inbox. And again, I can share this if anyone's interested. But it's very, very simple landing page. If I go back to this, is it going to work? So yeah, what's the whole goal here? What am I trying to do? I guess, yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to preach to the converted. I'm trying to get people who don't really care about the environment or social issues as much, because they're just like, oh, I don't know. Like, yeah, world's burning or whatever. I'm trying to interest those people more than people who are already aware of these issues. And then I guess what I'd love is for people to not just have a conversation, but hopefully maybe act or like, change their ways or become involved in social issues in their community, or, maybe take action, but at least get some kind of conversation going. So that is essentially what Encounter Design is, and what I'm trying to do as a kind of side project. But I guess it's not as fully formed as I would like it to be. I think it's going to be an evolving thing. So if anyone's got any topics that they think should be shared or made aware of more, then drop them in the chat. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think, because we've got people from all around the world here. And there's definitely things that I am very ignorant about. And so I'd love to know more about that. And thanks very much for listening to me.
Yeah, cheers, Jack. Yeah, the first website is super cool. And the second one, the kind of like the hub, the home for all your projects looks good. It's a work in progress, but like when it's done, it's gonna look good. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, Dan Parry is putting the boat out there for a mental health drop. Can you do one on mental health? Yes or no?
Yes. Straight in. That's a big
yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, thanks so much, Jack. Appreciate the time, the creativity there, and hopefully yeah, you can make some social impact along the way with these drops. Exciting times.
Yeah, that'd be
awesome. Cool. All right, cheers, Jack. On to Dan Parry. So he must be I think he's on his 4th demo day now. He's just racking them up. Yeah, you're just an absolute machine now. So it's quite yeah, good to have Dan on to just rack up those, to stat pad and rack up those numbers. So yeah, really looking forward to hearing your presentation today, Dan. Over to you.
Awesome.
Yes, perfectly.
Cool. Hello, I'm Dan. I make apps in the mental health space and currently working on an app called Voyage, which is a app that understands what your mood is based on your journal entries. And it's all built in Bubble so far. So, hey, I'm having a wonderful time with the 100 days of no code crew. They are excellent. Excellent. Shout out to Max. I hate typing and not just typing. Cool. So what it does then is it uses the Google Natural Language API to detect what the sentiment is of the text that you just entered. So it takes some time. So I've got this little animation there, and then it does a little pop-up of confetti when it's a good message, a nice message, and it detects what the scores are. I'm thinking about actually hiding some of this because I actually want to make it a little bit more human. It's useful for graphs, but not so much for the actual response. But basically, yeah, it's trying to encourage you to write. And then when you can see your journal entries that are happy. There's a little emoji there based on how happy you were. And because I wanted to do something special today, I decided to have a thing that when it's not so well, when your entry's not so well, something happens. So new feature, not quite done yet, but when you've got a low journal entry, you then get a pop-up with something that you can do to actually help. So there's a
Mindful breathing.
mindfulness.
Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees.
Yeah, and then
Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat.
cool. And I'm thinking now that I know that I can display details based on how good or bad you feel, I can have them probably be contextual. So yeah, and then show up randomly, show different things. And then yeah, things that you can see all your entries. Yeah, you can see all your entries and all your feelings. I have my favorite thing here is my little button that zips all the way right back up to the top. And then I have a menu, which is cool. Menus are cool. And then I have data. And this is where it shows all of your statistics for stuff. And I'm thinking about redesigning this page whenever it decides to load. But yeah, it shows your mood score, which is the sentiment that you felt and how strong you felt that sentiment over the last 7 days. And then your entries over time. So clearly I've been quite erratic here in my testing. I'm going to be changing the way that the graphs are displayed so that they're a little bit clearer. And then you also get a word cloud that shows your feelings. And I'm thinking about printing this or saving the words at least every day, so you can see how it changes, your mood changes over time. I'm going to redesign these because I feel like they look a bit garbage. And then if you don't know what the things are, then it tells you what they mean. But yeah, this is Voyage. The essence of it is to try and get a better understanding into your mood, try and get you to write journal entries, which is something that I struggle with. And then actually when you're feeling bad, get something back so that you can not feel so bad when you've written something that bad, and also yeah, encourage you to share your feelings. There's lots of cool things that you could do. For example, people don't need to see your journal entry to know your score. So if your friends have been feeling, you could send your friends an alert. For example, if you've been feeling bad 3 days in a row, then it could send them a little text message that's like, hey, like, cool down. Or you could do this for the office, and have people in businesses share their feelings and yeah, get like a score for the business. Yeah, there's those things you could do, but yeah, it's me. That's what I've been working on. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. And when you showed this to me a few weeks back, like I didn't realize you could actually do this with no code. So yeah, it's super cool.
What's really interesting is the feature that I added this. I literally did it just before. Like it literally took me like 20 minutes. And like that's the power of no code. Just having an idea and just being like, okay, cool, let me just smash this out for a demo day. So yeah, thank you, Max, for making this happen. You are excellent.
No, of course. Yeah, it's good fun, and I like the way you'll be able to, like, after like a month's worth of data's like put in there, you'll be able to kind of look back and say, okay, cool. So Mondays are pretty tough for me, seemingly. What am I doing on a Monday that I really don't like?
Yeah.
And then, as Doc Williams always says, find things you don't like and then just slash them, and or like automate them or like outsource them. So I think that's will be a really interesting use case as well, to look out for. So good job.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Thanks so much, Dan. Again, now I think we are going to be hearing from Aditya, who's going to be showing us his Choose Your Own Adventure podcast, which I'm really, really excited by. So yeah, if you're good to go, Aditya, there we go. There we go. Awesome.
Right. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aditya, and I normally work in radio, audio, podcast, and I actually am a radio host, voiceover artist, podcaster. Last year, somewhere around March, just around the time when pandemic hit, I started a podcasting studio. The worst time in human history to start anything new, but well, here we go. And soon enough, I realized that I needed a lot of support in terms of the tech side of things, because I could do the podcast, but I needed to build some landing pages, some web presence. And that's how I started looking into no code. And that's how I got to know of the community. I started asking around. That's how I ran into Max. And that is how it all started. So initially, I asked him about the entire landing pages and web presence. And then I asked him if I had this sort of a passion project that I wanted to do, if it was possible, which was to have a choose your own adventure interactive audio story where the listener is an character in the story. So he pointed me towards voice flow, and that is where most of the work is done. So the show is called Brian's Brain. Why Brian's Brain? Because it's alliterative and it's an anagram. And Brian is the main character, and you will be basically inside Brian's head. You will be listening to what Brian is thinking, and you will be making choices for Brian. And something like this was done recently, maybe a couple of years ago on Netflix. If you guys remember, Black Mirror had a similar thing with Netflix, where Netflix released a separate sort of a update where you could accept or refuse different choices, different scenarios, and you could choose how the thing will go. So with this entire project, what I wanted to do was, the story's primary character is one guy called Brian May, who is 26 years old, and we will be going through one day in Brian's shoes. And in this one day, he will be going through a job interview. And basically what you have to do is crack the interview for Brian. And after the interview is over, you go to a bar where you meet a girl, and basically you have to flirt with her. That is what I can call it. So basically a day inside someone's shoe. It is interactive. And through the day, Brian will meet multiple characters. There's Freddie, who is a friend. There's an interviewer, as I said. There's a receptionist with whom Brian will have conversations. And as I said, at each stage, Brian will have these situations where there are two options available. Binary options is what I've gone with for starters. So it could be something like, do you want to have tea or coffee? Or do you want to go left or right? And actually, it starts out with something similar. So in the story, the first few choices do not impact the story per se, because those are just there so that the listener can get a hang of things, of how to choose different choices. And the first two are actually about tea or coffee. So no matter what you choose in the story, it won't impact the larger scheme of things. But as the day progresses, the stakes get higher, and I actually have to draw multiple threads of, depending on what the choices are made, the story will take a totally different turn. So I use Notion for that. And these are all the threads to keep a track of all the threads. And then most of the work was done on voice flow. So voice flow allows you to test all these threads and all these different situations and scenarios. Not only that, it also allows you to push your project onto Alexa and Google devices. So you can do all of that there. So let me just quickly show you guys. This is Reaper. This is the tool where I do most of the sound design work. I will just see if I can. Now there seems to be some issue with it. All right, so this is Reaper again. So this is where most of the work is done. All these small tiny things that you can see are the audio files. These are the different layers that are put. So there's background noises, different people talking over each other, different situations. This is where most of the work happened. And from there, I got the MP3 files, which I put into voice flow. So this is what basically voice flow looks like. And this is the opening initial statement, which is Alexa, open Brian's brain. So that is where it all starts. And then you get a hello notification of sorts from Alexa, which is your show is about to begin. And then we get into the MP3 file. As I said, the first couple of choices are not a make or break thing. So these are tea, do you want tea or coffee? It won't make much difference as to what will happen, but it's just to get the user into the habit of making these choices. So from there, you get two different threads of sorts. And I seem to have some trouble. I would have shown you. Okay, let me just go through the entire thing. Oh yeah, so this is basically what the idea is, a story in which the listener is part of it and they can choose where the story will go. Also, there's one little thing that I realized while using voice flow. So if anyone is using voice flow, they can keep an eye out on that, which is voice flow allows you to test all these flows while you are in the tool. Also, it allows you to push it through Alexa and all these different tools, but the testing scenarios are different. So if it works in voice flow, it is not a guaranteed thing that it will work in Alexa. So right now, my entire flow is working on voice flow, but if I go to Alexa and say, Alexa, open Brian's brain, the entire flow will not work. So to make that work, it turns out you have to go to the Alexa developer console, which leads you into the code territory. So from no code, you end up going into the code territory there. But this is the general idea of the entire project. And there will be at least 5 to 6 different moments where Brian has to make a choice, which will change his day. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So what next with this? So when I started it, it was sort of a novelty thing. Like, what if you can put a listener inside a story? But then the more I've been doing it, yes, there were a few ideas, such as a time travel story where maybe a protagonist can go back and forth in time. They can choose where they want to go, or even a Sherlock Holmes style thriller where you are Sherlock Holmes or the listener is Sherlock Holmes, and based on what different suspects say, you have to figure out who is the murderer or things like that. But then the more I thought about it, I think something like this could be really used in a teaching or an educational sort of a scenario where instead of just asking people questions, what is the right choice or what is the wrong choice in a certain situation, you can actually lead them down the choice and make them realize why this is the right choice or why this is not the right choice. So that is what I had. Any questions? I will show you, but there seems to be some issue with my thing here. So yeah, any questions? Anything, Max, that you want me to touch upon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, firstly, great job, and this is really, really cool and creative. Yeah, when you kind of told me about this in our kind of one-on-one onboarding, I was like super, super hyped, and it's just exciting to see it come to life. Is there any way we can see kind of like the interface itself and like play like a tiny bit of it?
Oh, yeah.
That'd
So
be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got confused here. So this is voice flow. This is the entire setup. As I said, this is where you get started, and then you start getting these branches out. So I'll try to color code them depending on how the situation is going. As you can see, most of them are yes or no choices. As I said, it's binary. At times there are some other choices too, and it keeps going and it keeps going into more complicated territories until towards the end. And I'll just try to run it from the beginning. So this is where it all starts. So you can test your flow here, as I said. So this is basically
Hello,
guys can
your
listen
show
to
is
this.
about to begin. Please pay close attention. 3,
Yes.
2, 1.
All right,
Hello
so now
and
this will
welcome
get
to
into
Brian's
the
Brain,
opening file.
an interactive, choose your own adventure style
I can't
audio
seem to listen to it.
story
I hope you
by
guys can listen
Studio
to it.
41. Mr. Brian May is our
Right. So this was what I had over here, and this is the tool on which I made the entire thing. So these are all the short stories, all the parts of the stories which will be played out. And just to give you an example,
We don't think we can actually hear that, but yeah,
yeah.
it looks cool though.
Yeah, so that was pretty much all there was to it.
Amazing. This is awesome. So when will people be able to listen to this first of its kind podcast? When will it be released?
So hopefully within a week. As I said, now the debugging that I need to do is into sort of a coding territory, which is on the Alexa developer console. So I will have to figure that out. Hopefully within a week or maybe 2 weeks, it should be done, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, well, we all eagerly await that. So definitely share that when it's done, because this is definitely like the most novel, or one of the most novel things I've seen built with no code. So yeah, congrats on getting this far with it, and just pushing the boat out of what's possible in no code. It's incredible.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much, Aditya, for demoing that really awesome project. And now I think it's time for Tony Price. I think you have a remote working tool, or tool for remote workers, you're going to show. So I'll pass it over to you, Tony.
It's community trivia. It's basically taking pub trivia online, not really solving a real problem. Can you guys see the words, or is
yeah
Zoom faces because they're in my way? Okay, so you guys don't see us. Good. Just because you have communities that are being built online, or you have remote teams, or even your friends groups maybe have moved away and you're more spread out around the country or countries. You can be international now with your friends group, and to kind of build like better connections, you need tools. Basically, this is I'm not necessarily solving a real big world problem here, but we're going to try and just take the concept of pub trivia online for team members. You just basically can compete in a weekly game with your friends with an app, and we'll go into just like a quick demo of that. So come over here. You get the email. You get your weekly email, has your quiz in it. You get your link. And when you quit, I apologize if you guys aren't history fans, but basically it's like, hey, you have 30 seconds to read the question and have it be a short answer, not multiple choice. That's what we were going with. So we'll try and see how well Tony can type in front of people. That's not going to probably go great. We'll try and make this as fast as possible. I've taken this quiz about 1,000 times now as in my testing. So I apologize if you can't read them as fast as I am tossing out answers. Apologize to our Southern people that are here that may not enjoy that one. Submit. and we're gonna get a perfect score. I haven't figured out all the little kinks. I wish I could get it to like do that set focus on the app. There's only 10 questions. I have a feeling 10 is too short, so probably going to expand this to 15 questions in the future. The reason we, and you'll see when we go into kind of like the quick grading system, the reason I want to grade this is so I don't have like any like fuzzy try and AI grade it as of yet. This was just me making a joke because sorry for our British folks who maybe really liked Bernard Montgomery, because this one becomes Richard Montgomery. And then that finishes our quiz. The quiz is complete. And then I have it set so like the whole group has 24 hours to finish taking the quiz, so it's more asymmetrical. You just take the quiz, you're not taking it at the same time as the rest of the people, and then it just fires over into Airtable. And you see, it's kind of it's filling in those answers as we speak. But the reason I'm using Airtable for this rather than building in Bubble the grading system is just because this interface is just so much easier to then have it. It basically make grading kind of simple. You just do check marks all the way across, and that kind of just makes it pretty simple then this is the part that quote doesn't scale, but because I can grade kind of so quickly using Airtable, I figure even if you have like a large number of groups that need to be done on a given day, these can be kind of graded. And I'll just go over to the end because no one wants to see me grade papers, but basically it has all the participants, it does that. And then there's an API on the back end, pulls the answers back in. An API then runs to determine which one is the winner. The API then runs another one to send out the email the next day of like, hey, who won? And then I want to get into playing around with the stats. Hey, this person did really well with this type of question, so that you can find out like, hey, Bob in accounting is really good at history, but somebody else is good at pop culture or things like that, as you have the topics there for the quiz, just really as a team building thing. And obviously right now only through email. I would like to have it push out as a Slack bot as well, so that teams that, hey, everyone just kind of gets there. It's the Slack bot pushes it out at one point in time, or even building an interface into something like Microsoft Teams. Like it just kind of pushes that notification to every member of the group, because I really focus more on this being like a work tool for just like more consistent team building and things between I probably need to build some features into that, but as from an MVP's perspective, I've tested it enough that I know that the basic process works before I start layering in other features. But that's pretty much where community trivia is at right now. Like I said, the base model kind of works. Now we just need to add in fixing the other functionality to make it smoother and a little bit tightened up.
Nice job. Thanks so much, Tony. Yeah, that's really cool. And I guess that's the thing with no code. You don't need to be solving, I mean, you can, but you don't need to be solving these like huge problems. Like you can just like target a niche, stick to it, and solve that thing for that collection of users that need it. In your case, remote workers, which is actually quite a few people. So we've had some feedback actually in the chat from Kev.
I'm writing that down.
He's got, it's a damn good idea. So basically, giving people bonus points who finish quickest. So it's a way to kind of make it a little bit more exciting, but also disincentivizing cheating. So really, really good idea there from Kev. But awesome job, Tony. I'm always in awe of how many projects that you're shipping. And I'm sure you'll have many more up your sleeves in the coming months. So look forward to it. Yeah, of course. All right. Well, we're kind of just absolutely powering through the demos tonight. So we're actually coming up to our last demo, and that is going to be from Yelmer. So last but certainly not least, over to you, Yelmer.
Yeah, thanks, Max. I don't have any slides prepared, so I'll just share my screen and do everything on VoiceOver.
Perfect.
So, I need to get this Zoom control out of the way. So my name is Jelmer. I'm the co-founder of Venturism, which I founded with Marcus, who is also in 100 Days. He demoed one of our previous products with it, which is Sneak Peek, which lets you create websites real easy, set up a landing page, gather email addresses, take pre-orders. So I built one for my product for today, which is working title Mindflow. Mindflow is in the space of mindfulness and productivity, so mindful productivity. And yeah, the problem I wanted to solve is basically, I'm pretty good at being very productive. I like using Pomodoros, and I like, working in short sprints and then recovering afterwards. But most of the time, the recovering I kind of skip the recovery, and I burn myself out over time, basically. So what I was trying to do here with Mindflow is, have maximal output, but minimize your mental strain. So kind of build a productivity app that focuses on the recovery rather than the productivity. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Whoop. They are a fitness tracker, and they basically track the strain in your body, and the app tells you how long to recover after each workout before you can work out again. Well, I kind of wanted to do the same thing, but for mental recovery. So, spend more time in flow and deep work healthfully, and take better breaks with active recovery suggestions, and track your long-term strain and avoid burnout. So I'm going to take a risk here and do a live demo and hope that Bubble doesn't crash. So I'm going to switch tabs. I hope you guys can all see this. So at first glance, this just looks like any other productivity timer, I suppose, but there's some differences here, which I will try to show you. So for the sake of demoing, I'm just going to do this, set this timer for 10 seconds. So set timer, and it's going to ask me, what do I want to work on? So basically, what is the task that I want to accomplish in this time? So right now I want to demo this app, and I'm going to start the timer. Timer is going to start counting down like any productivity timer. And at the end of it, so we'll wait till it counts down. At the end of it, it's going to ask me, what's your energy level like? So I can basically use this slider to indicate how I feel. And it's going to do two things. So the first thing, it's going to take that information, and it's going to use it to suggest the length of the break that I should take. And so I'm going to hit save feedback, and then you can see it. And then it's going to tell me, okay, it's time to take a break. And we're going to suggest an activity for you to do during that break. I have, I think, 4 activities currently in the database, but I want to do a lot more. And it's going to suggest the amount of break time I need. So right now it's 2 minutes. I know it doesn't make sense with the 10 seconds, but it's just, I didn't program it fully yet, but I'm going to take that break. We're not going to watch it count down all the way, of course. So the break timer counts down. You can go and meditate. At some point, I might include like a meditation audio file, or maybe do a partnership with, I don't know, Headspace or something. But we're not going to watch it count down, so I'm going to stop it. And you're going to see that two things happen. So first of all, so first of all, the streak increased, right? Because I did my second timer in a row. I did one before this. But the other thing, and I think this is the interesting part, it's going to track your strain. So this is basically my mental strain. So the more timers I count down, the more my strain is going to increase. And this is going to vary based on, do I take breaks and what feedback do I give? And once my strain reaches 100%, it's going to tell me, okay, you need to stop working today and maybe kick back a little bit, because if you're going to do this day after day after day, you're going to burn out. Because for me, that's the problem, right? I can work really hard for one day and feel fine. but then at the end of the week, I feel exhausted. So it kind of, it kind of helps me keep track of that. So super simple demo. They say that if you're not ashamed of your first version that you ship too late. So this is kind of me living that. I guess that's the demo.
Cool. I love the way Yama, you gave it all the, oh, it doesn't look good, oh, it looks really awful beforehand, and then I'm looking at probably one of the nicest bubble interfaces I've seen. So yeah, that was good fun and definitely a surprise after your messages. So awesome job, and you're getting a lot of love in the Zoom chat from people that are also probably needing a more mindful way to actually be productive. So yeah, awesome. Any kind of future plans here, Yelma? What's next on your horizon?
Yeah, sure. What's next is I need to kind of figure out the right algorithm to track the strain. I also want to do like more like a dashboard where you have more deeper insights than just the strain bar that is day by day. And I want to find out what might be right break suggestions, and how can I kind of take those to the next level. So if I tell you to meditate, it would be nice if there's a meditation there for you. If I tell you to do 15 push-ups and 50 squats or a small workout, it would be nice if it guides you. So I'm going to be adding in those things in the short term, and long term it depends on, I guess, how many people want it. And then I might, if I get validation, I might take it a step further.
Awesome. Yeah, you should definitely be trading notes with Dan, and probably just like shared curation of all those resources. Feels like you just need an Airtable base together on that front. Cool. Well, we've actually rattled through everyone today, which is awesome. And it hasn't felt rushed, at least from my perspective. So yeah, Yelma times Dan, here we go. Would love that. Yeah, next steps, what is going to be happening after this this demo day? Well, we're going to be uploading the recording of this event so you can share with your friends or look back on some of the cool stuff that you made or wanted a little bit more time to look at. We will be having our next demo day on the 2nd of December. So if you're keen to demo your projects by then, it's 3 months away. It's a good chunk of time to do anything with no code. I mean, if you do something in an afternoon, you can do a lot in 3 months. So be expecting big things if you start building today. Yeah, keep that on your horizon. Save the date, 2nd of December. If you'd like to join our upcoming cohort, as mentioned at the start of this demo day, I will just pop in the chat some more information on that front. 2 secs. And if you know of anyone that you think would be suitable for this cohort that we're going to be running, then of course I would be very grateful if you would share that with others. Now with Zoom, it seems to share the link twice whenever I put it in here, so excuse the huge links going on there. All right, and now I'd just like to say a few thank yous. Before I do that, or while I'm doing it, please feel free, everyone, to share your Twitter handles in the chat. I'm going to put mine in here so we can all follow each other after the event. So yeah, I'd just like to say, firstly, a big thank you to the demoers, of course, for putting in the work, showing what's possible with no code. And of course, a big thank you to everyone that's kind of supported and showed up to today's event. So if you enjoyed the event today, any love on social media, it would be amazing. Sharing through your networks for the projects, of course, and 100 Days of No Code would be hugely appreciated. And if you've got any feedback for how we can make these events better next time, then do just pass it on to me. And yeah, I think that is a wrap, folks. Have lovely evenings, have lovely days, and catch you all at the next demo day, or hopefully sooner. So yeah, thanks so much, guys, and speak soon.
Thank you, Max. Awesome. Thank you.